Hello and welcome to week 3 of Educational Research and Applications. This week we are really going to dive down into, I'm going to take some time to go over how I go about doing research and writing a paper like this. And we are really going to be focusing hard on that because our assignment due this week is really you discussing why you've chosen the topic that you've chosen. Thank you guys all for posting your research question or kind of where you're at with that. I hope you all appreciated the feedback in your rubric. Some of you have emailed me specifically asking questions. If you want to, feel free to email me to continue to dialogue about your topic as we work forward. Know that some of your topics aren't 100% in my wheelhouse. I work with adult learners. So some of the newer things for K-12 students, I might not have even heard about yet. So you may be more of an expert than I am, but what I can do is help with either broadening or narrowing by pointing out, you're going to get, you want to focus on, let's just say, interventions in kindergarten for reading. That may be too broad because there are probably thousands of different interventions. Now, if you wanted to narrow it down to a specific subset of interventions, say like pull-out interventions or in the classroom interventions, you've now narrowed your topic down to be more manageable. You may even need to narrow it down more from that. Just an example. Discussion board posts, I will give you feedback via the rubric. I am hoping to start going through everybody's discussion board posts here tomorrow, the 21st, and continue working on those on Monday and Tuesday of this week, and hopefully have them back to you at the latest by Wednesday. Our focus for week 3 is to solidify your research question and topic. That is the focus of the assignment due this week. Continue doing your CITI training. I think I saw that 7 of you already have it posted. I have not taken the time to go and look at what you've posted. I will hopefully be able to get the time to do that this week. Your readings are going to examine qualitative and quantitative research and the differences between them. So you guys know my background. I would say that I am stronger in quantitative than qualitative. My brain tends to think more in the numbers and statistics realm, which would be quantitative. That doesn't mean I don't know anything about qualitative, but the research that I've conducted has been quantitative. And then to continue looking at APA resources and APA formatting. Headings. These are your friends. I know they can be really annoying, and some of you may have lost points on assignments because headings weren't done correctly. But I want you to think of headings as your outline. They are there to guide you and to guide your reader into how everything connects. I spent quite a bit of time thinking about what I was going to ask you guys in this video to respond to me this week, and it's going to be an outline using headers, because that is, to me, the core of how you do this type of research. So this is actually taken out of the APA book. And what I want you to think of is that this level 1 is your title. That is, what is your question? And then those number 2s, there'll be quite a few of them most likely, are your subsections. How I go about doing the research is, once I've got a solid topic in mind and I've been reading articles on it, I want you to focus on picking out themes that come up over and over and over again and write those down. And when you're doing these research articles, don't just read one, set aside, go to the next one that you found in your search. Look at their references, because you're probably going to find, if you're reading 10 articles, they cite at least 2 of the same articles each. Those 2 articles are probably something you should try to find, because they may be what we would call foundational research on that topic. So if you were doing, trauma stuff, you're probably going to continue to see the ACEs original study and you should go and find it and read it yourself. So not only do your own searches in EBSCO, but look at the articles that the people that you are reading used, and go and read those articles yourself, especially if they've come up several times. Little thing on headers, when you get down farther, so if we're at, you have your title, you're going to have the next one because there's going to be more than one section. At the very least, you're going to have an introduction and conclusion. But before you break them down farther, this is what this next slide is about, you need to have at least 2 sections, subsections. We don't label our headings with numbers or letters. We just change the font, as you can see here. I recommend, if you have the book, the actual APA manual, find this page and put a Post-it note on it and go back and reference it all the time. It is super helpful. Paragraph headings are immediately followed by the text for that section rather than starting on a new line. Again, that's these ones down here. And if it's confusing, go to the APA manual and look at the examples that they have. You can also, in EBSCO, search for dissertations. Just find some on something similar to your topic and look at the formatting. Don't necessarily read the whole dissertation if it's not 100% aligned, but for a dissertation to get to the point where it's approved and published on EBSCO, they should have this stuff correct. So your activities and readings for week 3 are Galvin and Galvin, chapters 5, 6, and 7. Lambert, chapters 2 and 3. Continue looking at your APA resources and headings. There is a discussion board post due Thursday. Ignore this journal post because we're not doing them. But your replies are due on Saturday. Your discussion this week is what are some characteristics of both qualitative and quantitative research studies. For your current topic, I would ask that here you write a little blurb about what your topic is. What type of studies are you finding in your initial search? If you're finding both, what seems to be more prevalent? Most topics tend to be looked at in one of those 2 ways. It's not often that you'll have a perfectly even split between the 2. And like I said, make sure that you respond to at least 2 peers on that discussion board. Continue working on your CITA modules, and we'll do a quick look ahead, but definitely focus on this week 3 assignment. Getting rid of that too. I just updated this and it didn't save. I apologize for that. We're only doing that. However, I will show you part of the journal. If you want to use something like this to keep yourself on track, I recommend finding one way to do that. Again, we're not doing an actual journal. But finding a way to keep track of your articles is if it's an annotated bibliography, which is title, APA citation, quick summary, and just a running list of that. If it's a research log like this, if you're really old school and want to make yourself do a lot of extra work like I did, and you're literally just color coding the articles you printed off with Post-it notes and writing a quick summary on the very front of it and keeping stacks of them everywhere so your family hates you because you take up all of the table space, you can do that too. Find what works for you. Looking back on it, this or an annotated bibliography probably would have been a much better organizational tool than printing hundreds of articles and leaving them on tables in stacks by theme. When they got tipped over, it wasn't fun figuring them out again. So what I would like you to do in your response to this video is post a very rough outline. I just want it in header format. So just like this right here, content, course materials, that. And really what you're going to need is the first 2, content and course materials. So content, that should be your question. Course materials should be 3 to 5 sub-themes or sections. If one of your sections, let me go back here. If one of your sections is broken up into 2 subsections, then do the one underneath that. And what I would like you to do is make sure that you have those formatted correctly for this. So your level 1 is your title. Then you have your themes, and if any of them have a sub-theme, it would look like this. Remember, it has to be at least 2 sub-themes to get the next one down. So it's not super common that you're going to get down to 4 or 5 in a paper of this length. If you have questions about this, please email me. If you want me to do a deeper video on conducting research and how I would lay it out in an outline prior to starting to write the paper, I can do that. If several of you email me and ask me to do that, I'll do that. I'm going to do a fun topic rather than something deep, and because I want to do something that I already know. I don't want to have to go and read 100 articles. I've done that once. It's not fun. If you have questions, please email me. You're welcome. Like I said, look at dissertations. If you want to pull up mine, it's not perfect by any means. I wouldn't call myself an author or a grammar and English expert, but it is available. You can look at it. I think the formatting section was probably one of the things that I did better than anything else. But definitely look at things that have already been done for format. And I highly recommend when you're looking at writing these papers, start with an outline and build from there. Break it up into subsections and then start looking for articles on each of those subsections, a whole bunch of them, to build out a story. Have a great week, and please email me with any and all questions. I am always happy to help as much as I can.